This
Make sure you have your coffee ready. And it looks like generally unstandard composition coming out on the side of Liability, or really both of these sides. I mean, a Nautilus coming out. I mean, all sorts of weird stuff to talk about here.
This is wonderful. The Nautilus, the Dynamo, the Bloblobber. This is a fantastic thing to see. Right away, though, it looks like we're in a little bit of trouble for Liability. They do go 3 down, but they're able to respawn pretty quickly to come back in very quickly. Geo being chased by a couple of members of Sayonara, unfortunately does go down to that Rainmaker carrier, and it's going to make it a lot easier for Sayonara to continue their push here.
Definitely here now, 2 down again for Liability, but that Splash Zone going to be able to stall things out for the moment. Looks like Liability going to go pick up a Rainmaker, go 2 down for it themselves here, but they are going to go ahead and take the lead in the process. Looks like Ren applying a little bit more pressure with this K-Pro. Just hold off this Rainmaker, let the rest of his teammates respawn. Now kind of going for the flanking option as the Rainmaker gets cleaned up out front. And again, able to get that pick, looking for the last, but looks like the last was able to back up into mid. And so that'll be the end of the push here for Liability. Again, not getting around that choke point. And so not home free with a push to 45.
Not quite. 45 is pretty good, though, for just starting out. And, you know, it seems like a lot of pressure is consistently being put on both of these teams here. No one feels very comfortable in making a push. They're kind of taking little risky maneuvers. I don't love that they just pushed up very quickly without waiting to get the picks that they needed to make sure they had a clear pathway. But at this point, it does look like Sayonara has taken the lead here all the way to 31. Ren pushing this Rainmaker, running into a little bit of issues there, but getting it to 13. That's fantastic, they bought.
We're seeing a lot of fantastic solo pushes here coming out of the Rainmaker on both sides. That Rainmaker explosion actually looks like get a couple, but 3 down situation yet again for Liability. Q staying alive, allowing for these jumps coming in. They might be able to pop this Rainmaker, but the Dynamo going to go ahead and get a double. Now looking for the third, but Q able to get that pick. Anytime you can watch a Charger get a pick like that, that's incredible, because you know they're just about as good as down if they don't nail that shot, and indeed Q did there.
Very, very lovely charge play coming out by Q. Really just shots that, you know, you expect to see from maybe double the distance, and just getting them that beautiful Charger sound that we all love so much coming out. Q is just applying a lot of pressure to the rest of the teammates here, of the other team here, and does get called out, but staying alive with some of those taps for a little bit, not quite able to do it. And at this point, Liability has pushed pretty far forward. I love this move. This is the move right here. Unfortunately, it gets stopped on the rail, which is going to reset the Rainmaker back to the beginning of that rail.
Can't quite make it now. Bagel trying to approach mid here. Pops the baller to try to get a little bit more momentum going. You can see that it looks like the orange team here of Liability has a lot more control of mid, and that's not going to allow Sayonara to do much of anything. Bagel now getting another pick, looking for this Ken's machine, but has to be careful of the Bloblobber. Rainmaker now going to reset. Back in the middle, we've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go here in this match, and looks like Sayonara able to pop this Rainmaker after the 200 situation. We'll see if they can get a push off this.
I don't even know how much of a stronger push that they really need here. They just need to stall a little bit. You know, not something that every Rainmaker fan loves to do, to be able to play this like slower game, but if you can play it well, it might be to your benefit. Q right now holding down the fort, the only one up, and just kind of waiting it off. Hoshi did a really interesting thing using that Kenta slotting machine to get the rail already, because we saw Hoshi go that way earlier, so we know that that's going to be the side that he or she is looking to push again.
Looks like 2 down now for both teams, as Hoshi's still staying alive around this Rainmaker, and I think the rest of Sayonara just backing up and prepping their defenses. Now Taeyang trying to push forward here. Looks like we do have the Rainmaker picked up, but not going to stay alive for very long. Now 2 down on the side of Liability. Bagel trying to hold down the fort here, right on this choke point now. Running this ramp. Looks like they know exactly where 3 of these members are, and the 4th one jumping in now for the side of Liability, and they're all kind of clumped together here in the middle. If I imagine if 1 or 2 specials gets popped, it's not going to be pretty here if you are Liability. Leo trying to find a couple more picks, but a baller in. Booyah Bomb coming out is going to go ahead and get the pick on the Rainmaker. Now with 16 seconds to go in a 2-down situation, things are looking grim if you're Liability.
Not really a good look, as you said. It definitely is do or die time right now, and it's not going to be enough. With less than 10 seconds, down to 4, it's going to just be something, and they know it too right there. Sayonara, a little bit of air squid bagging there, trying to have some fun.
Try to have some fun. That was actually like a fun
Yeah.
little animation to watch too. Just in the air. I don't think I've seen an inkjet squid bag before, but nonetheless, Sayonara are gonna go ahead and take that match. One thing we touched on in the game. Holy smokes! Look at
Yeah.
those KAs. 19 and 16 coming in from the top two on the side of Sayonara. Definitely outslaying the other side of Sayonara. And one thing that I wanted to mention before I saw those KAs was Q had extremely aggressive positioning for Charger, at least I felt like. And sometimes that can be risky, but if you know that you can nail your shots all the time, like Q was doing in that match, it can pay off big time. And I think that's largely what opened the door there for that push that got them down to 13, Sayonara. And so we'll see if Liability can come up with any answers for that. Again, we're going to maybe a little bit less of a charger-oriented map, I'd say, on Kelp Dome. What do you think here about what Liability is going to bring to the table on Splat Zones?
I think we're gonna end up seeing much of the same. It seemed like they were pretty comfortable with the weapons that they were running. So maybe that's what we'll continue to see here. I I was really impressed as well, like you were talking about with those KAs, and it was something that they just showed us, hey, we're here not to mess around. We talked a little bit about how they were a formidable team earlier on because we did say that they were going into something knowing where they had placed. I'm kind of scrolling back up in our chat to see um where somebody had said they knew them from something, and I'm trying to
Inkling Open. They got tied.
Inkling Open,
The,
Liability.
not Liability,
No,
sorry.
no, yeah,
I thought you were...
Liability. I feel like somebody had said that they were an EU team and that they did pretty well in Breeze. That they came in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now looks like we're going to be hopping right on into this. Looks like we're actually seeing Q switch off of the Charger and opt for the ballpoint with that Sorella as well coming out from Sayonara.
Sayonara's comp is like getting kind of excited to see what they're gonna do because they have this double splatling, the Nautilus and the ballpoint with that Brella and the Octoshot as the kind of shooter to round this out is a really interesting mix, and I want to see how they're going to be able to pull this off. They definitely need to remain as close to zone as possible so they can continue to paint, because they do have a little bit of range, but it's not like one of the traditional Splatlings where they can set themselves up pretty high and just rain down from above.
Geo gonna get that pick on its son, and yeah, you're absolutely correct here. I will say though, on a map like Splat Zones, and especially on this kind of wide zone of Kelp Dome, it's beneficial to have that much painting power that we see Sayonara bringing out. And now it looks like they're starting to push up and be a little bit more aggressive here as they go for the lockouts. A 3-down situation yet again for Liability as we're now down to the 30-point mark for Sayonara, and it continues to count. Geo looking for a couple more picks in spawn prior, not going to be able to do anything with that Splat Roller, and Leo as well getting taken out. Still 2-down situation for Liability. This is probably going to be the game against them.
I have to say, K-Bot, where Bagel was sitting just there is the #1 reason I hate this map. I have to bring it up. Kelp Dome can be so easy to lock someone out if you get the high ground on that ramp and you're a Splatling. You have that range, you're constantly applying pressure as somebody's coming in, respawning. You have a hard time if you're the other team getting away safely. And I think that's what Sayonara showed, that they were able to just shut this down as quickly as possible. They made it very, very difficult for Liability to do much of anything. And I think we're going to continue to see them perform well today. I'm very excited to see what they do moving forward.